this is Sarah Soiledplant and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to show you all the plants and things that I've bought in the last couple of weeks. I haven't bought that many plants really, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be buying plants because it's getting into the fall and things like that, and now at this point I'm just concerned about making sure the plants are nice and healthy and ready to go into winter and all of that. I'll start with plants because of course that's the most interesting. The first thing I bought from a local seller here on Facebook, and it's a pair of jewel orchids. I'll show you some close-ups of these because I don't even know how I'm going to be able to do justice to them. They are so freaking cool looking, and they're teeny tiny, so you know, I'm hoping to have them grow nice and big. Both have a little bit of new growth, and eventually my master plan here. So because I've got cats that like eat everything and chew on everything, I have to have fake plants on my coffee table in the center of my living room. What I'm thinking is if I get some like itty bitty little cute jewel orchids and things like that, and I put them under a cloche, the glass bowl thing, I think that's what they're called, a cloche. If I have them in something like that, then I can actually have plants on the little center area of my table. Plus, I've always looked at these and seen other people with these, and I think they're really, really cool looking. The like veining in it looks like electricity almost. They have like a sparkle, and it's really like crazy looking. The veining on these is so cool, and I'm looking forward to them growing. I've also heard they're not too hard to propagate and things like that, so hopefully I can like build a little like nest of these. That would be super awesome. This is my first time buying orchids of any kind, and I've heard jewel orchids are a little bit harder than regular orchids. Yeah, so these are new, and I'll have fun experimenting with them a little bit and see how they do. I haven't had them for very long, so we'll see what happens with these. Another one I bought is another new type of plant that I haven't bought before, and I've been avoiding for a very specific reason. Reason being, I don't have enough really good direct light in my house. Even my southern facing window has a tree in front of it, so I never have that like awesome direct light for things like cactus and succulents, as well as crotons. Crotons, I'm not sure how you call them, but this one is called Picasso's paintbrush, and I have always admired these. They don't look like a croton at all. They barely look alive. They look like something out of Tim Burton's like echelon of, you know, his mind or something like that. And I like the colors in it. I like how kind of spooky the colors are, where it goes all the way to a black, but it like tempers itself all the way up to a golden color. I also really like, you know, that it does kind of look like the tip end of a paintbrush after it's been used. The painting's done and there's just paint all over the easel and all that kind of stuff. That's what this looks like to me, and it's really nice. And it wasn't that expensive either. I figure this is my experiment. See if I can have one of these survive. We'll see. I really don't have high hopes for this living and doing well, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm going to give it a shot just because of how cool it is. Now this is one, because of how the little leaves go, the cats are going to be obsessed with this one. It's basically, you know, a full-on toy for them. So I'm definitely going to have to put it in a spot where they will not go for it and they will leave it alone just because they have no access to it. So I'm probably going to end up putting it on this shelf behind me. I've got a couple of open spaces now that I've gotten rid of some of the propagations I had going on, and I can link that video up above. The propagations I had and I kind of consolidated together. And now that those are gone, I have a little bit of real estate that would be perfect for this guy here. Once again, this is a croton Picasso's paintbrush. The next two plants, I bought the same thing twice. I only buy two of something if I'm afraid I'm going to kill it and I will never be able to find it readily accessible ever again. So I've done this before. I did this with my philodendron micans, and that one I bought two, and actually I've never seen them since, so at least in person. That was a good move on my part, I think. The other plant I've bought two of was my string of hearts, and both of those deteriorated and died. So I had to kind of rehab them, and they're in the process of rehabbing right now. With all of that prefaced, you see how I have to like justify myself that I bought 2 of something as though like you guys have a vested interest in how many plants I have. So with that gigantic preface, what I bought is 2 Calathea. This Calathea is the only Calathea that was still on my wish list after buying all the Calathea I already have. I have been looking for one of these for a long time. I've heard that they're kind of hard to take care of, so I'm prepared for the worst, that these are going to die off on me. But I love these because they give me the vibe of a Vittata and a pinstripe kind of combined. I've had pinstripes in the past and they've died on me. I've got one that's kind of recuperating itself in my greenhouse, and it is alive and putting off leaves and everything. It seems very happy. I've never owned a Vittata. I've always thought that they're beautiful, but they're a little on the plain side. So this one is essentially like a Vittata, but it's got really beautiful pink. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an airbrush effect on the leaves, and you can kind of bring out that pink color, and it's like a nice gradient where it's deeper in the center, and then it kind of spreads slowly out. And it is just, oh, it is gasp worthy. It's beautiful. Now, both of these plants that I bought, they're not in like primo condition. There's no browning, but there has been some leaves that have come out kind of wonky and other ones that look like they have some damage to them. With the whole buying 2, in this case scenario, you know, we're coming up on winter. I don't want to think about it, but it's true. When winter is coming, I'm afraid I'm going to lose one of these. So that's part of it. The other thing is, if they do happen to do okay and survive into the spring, I would very much like to combine these together and make one big plant instead of 2 smaller plants. I want to see how they survive. I might put one in the greenhouse and then one with my other Calathea, just to see how it does. I'm sure the one in the greenhouse will do better. That's not really what I'm looking for. I'm seeing how the lighting differences will change the pink color. I might switch it up and see if one is doing much better than the other. I will kind of pull the other one into where the better plant is. I'm over explaining. I think you get it. That's it for plants, and I'm going to briefly talk about some of the pots I bought. Firstly, I got this awesome pot from my local nursery. I really like it. It's green, and I love green, but most of the time when I find green, it's either like Kelly green or it's like teal green, and sometimes that doesn't really go with my decor. I have teal in like my pillows and stuff like that, but it has to be the right type, and if it's too like bluey or something, it kind of looks off. This one, I love it because it is green, which is my favorite color, and actually kind of matches my sweater a little bit. They actually match. Who knew? That was not intentional. We interrupt this program temporarily just to point out. So right before I sat down, I was looking at my bird of paradise, and I was like, oh, the 2 leaves are almost about to unfurl. Let me just spray it with some water, you know, use my mister and see if it, you know, likes it or whatever. I don't know if you could actually see it on camera, the progression, but it's been slowly unfurling since sitting down like 20 minutes ago. And it's already starting to unfurl both of them. Now, one is already ripped, and I'm sad about that, but the other one is all in one piece, and I'm like, I'm so excited. Okay, anyway, sorry. Back to the video. I really like this green planter because A, I love green, but B, it's like a olivey green, so it's much more neutral and can kind of fade into the background while not being like beige or white. I really like more eclectic color combinations instead of just being sterile. And I know that's on trend right now, and that's not popular right now, but I'm way more on the eclectic side of things. I love color, I love combining color, all of that. So this is something that kind of bridges that gap between a neutral and a color. And it's super cute, and I love it. The last thing I want to show you is basically the terracotta pots I bought. And you're like, terracotta, that's super boring. Like, why do you want to show us terracotta pots? They're all the same. Yes. But I've been noticing that there's been more options for terracotta in other colors other than the standard terracotta color. So this is what a standard terracotta pot looks like, and the color I'm referring to and it's awesome and I like it. I have several of these as well, but once again, I don't want all of my pots to look like this because I want that like eclectic color combination thing. I've been loving pots that are this color. I do have a few pots this color and I like it. It's kind of like a soft medium gray. Like, can you imagine this as an eyeshadow? Like, is that not perfection? That like perfect medium tone taupe? Like, oh, mwah. And I don't see them very often in big box stores, but I catch them in nurseries on occasion. These are the two pot colors I've always had. And when I went to this one store, I found a new color of pot. Feast your eyes on cream. It's cream, but marbled. With normal terracotta, it's always just like the standard color. There's no real gradients to it or anything. And then you've got these ones, which have a little bit of like, gets darker to lighter. It's a little more uneven, giving it a little more of like an earthy texture to it. This one kind of has a straight up marble vibe that I am here for. I love marble effects and things like that, and I went a little crazy and I bought small ones, medium-sized ones, and round cover pots. Is that not just so pretty? I actually have some of these in this color. So I have the same style pot in that like medium gray color that's similar to this. And now I have it in a cream color. So that's kind of fun. These are all my new babies. That is it for my little micro haul. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye! Welcome to my Can She Keep It Alive series, where I buy only things I think I'm most likely to kill. This is great. It's gonna be fine. It's all fine. Don't worry about it.